All right, so this is the how-to video for the how to use the Sooo Seamless actions that I created for fixing smooth studio backgrounds. This is not really meant for textured backgrounds. This is for when you want a nice, smooth, clean background. Maybe you have some little specks or a couple little, wrinkly things. It happens. But this won't get rid of like big, huge issues. It is really meant to add that nice, beautiful, clean sweep to your studio images. So we're gonna start here. This is a photo I took on the porch of my clients. You can see they're sort of tucked into the corner of their porch and they have the stucco wall in the back. This is a really simple fix for this one. So I have the Sooo Seamless actions. I'm just going to hit Sooo Seamless fix. Make sure that my background is what's selected. Hit play. And that is that. So seriously, if your background just needs a little bit of touch up, that's it. One click, done. You're good. So this next image, I am going to show you the Sooo Seamless fix and fill. So the easiest way that I like to use this one is grab the lasso tool. I just hit the L key as the shortcut, just the free lasso. And I'm going to circle all the things I want to get rid of. And I'm going to hold shift to add to this selection. I'm going to get rid of some of these corners and some of that mess. Okay, so then I'm going to use Sooo Seamless fix and fill. I'm going to hit play. My computer's recording and trying to run actions, so it's a little delayed here. There it goes. Okay, so the only thing on this one that I would probably fix up would be this little shadow that disappeared under her foot. And I would just take my brush at a lower opacity and sort of paint that in. Now the texture did come back there, so let's see. Let's brush it back out. And instead of bringing it back, because we actually want the texture to go away, I'm just going to go ahead and flatten it because I'm quite happy with that. And I'm going to come over here. Oh, where is it? To my blur tool. And just going to blur that little bit of texture. And there it is. So real quick fix still. All right, next one. I'm gonna grab my lasso tool again. I'm gonna lasso all the way down to that shadow. And I'm gonna do fix and fill. Now I said before that this doesn't work really well on textured backgrounds. I'll show you why. It's not bad actually, but you can definitely see the texture right up along the edge and right in here. And I personally don't like that. And also with the fill on this one, we're going to use a different technique because it added some odd waviness back there. So I'm actually going to delete this and I'm going to show you guys a different technique for this particular image. So for this area, I am going to just tap I, which is the color selector, the eyedropper. And I'm just going to grab a color from in the blanket. I'm going to go to the brush And I am just going to fill in the whole area. Probably this little shadow down here too. Okay. And maybe this little shadow. Oh, it made it more shadowed. I'll pick a brighter color for down there. Okay. So then I'm just going to do the Sooo Seamless Fix because I don't need the fill anymore. And it should smooth out any sort of weirdness. Yep, it did. And then for up here, I want to bring a little bit of that texture back. So just going to use my brush on that and bring back the texture. And I actually end up really not liking that down there. So we can always history brush that right back. And I go over a lot of these tools in my group. So there's a link to the group in the comments or in the description. So if you want more like how to edit and what I'm talking about when I say history brush, check out the group, join it, and you can see more of how I edit this. So I'm just going through these really quickly. So there is that one. And I'll just probably go to the history. That's what we started with. That's what we ended with. And it was like a minute. Okay, next one. So for this one, I am just going to do the Sooo Seamless Fix. Because we don't really need to fill anything. I mean, we might want to knock out some of these little shadowed areas, but let's see. Okay, that actually looks really good. The only thing I might do is bring back the edge of the blanket. I mean, if you like the super faded look, then go for it. But I personally would just bring that edge back. And probably not even that much. Oh, I thought I knocked down my opacity. Apparently I did not. Like that. And then that gets rid of all the texture, makes it nice and smooth. Really simple. Quick edit. Okay. So this one, I am just going to do the Sooo Seamless Fix. We don't have anything to fill on this one. Smooths out everything really nicely. And again, the only thing I would really fix on this one is these little wispy edges of his little suit there. I would probably either edit them out before you run the action or take 10 seconds and bring them back. I actually really like the wispies. It doesn't bother me. And then you have that nice, smooth background. Okay, next one. All right, so on this one, I'm going to sort of even out this shadow over here a little bit, just to show a little bit different of a technique. Again, I'm just selecting the color, brushing it in. And I reselect. Okay. I'm going to play the Sooo Seamless Fix. There's little messes down here on the bottom right, and it pretty much gets rid of them. And for this, I am just going to work on bringing back the edge of that heart a little bit, because we don't want it to be so blurry. Okay. Pretty easy. Quick, quick. All right, and then for the last one, we're gonna do something a little more difficult. So I know a lot of times with like studio maternities and things like that, we're working on really little backgrounds, right? So this is my cloth backdrop. I absolutely hate it. I almost never use it, but it's a great example for this. And there's some really good things here, like around the elbows, where I'm gonna actually have to go in and paint. So what I'm gonna start with is a white, and I am gonna brush it. So let's go a little higher opacity here, a lot higher opacity. I'm just gonna work with a go. And the nice thing is you only really have to even stuff out. You don't have to totally get rid of lines because the way the action works, it's gonna smooth a lot of that out anyway. So it's really just getting rid of like the high contrast lined areas like that, and like this back here, and this little guy right here. Okay. I'm just gonna, you can see my camper in the background there. Okay, I'm gonna go around the elbow in just a minute. So you really want to just try and get rid of those high contrast areas, because the action when it runs is looking for contrast. That's how it's defining what we're doing here. So by getting rid of high contrast areas, you allow the action to focus on the subject rather than on your background. And you could really go around that a little nicer than what I did. That wasn't the best. I do use a tablet, so that makes doing things like this a ton easier. Oh, my elbow is already sort of backlit. All right. Okay, finish coloring it in here. Those high contrast spots. You see we still have a lot of mess on the backdrop as far as wrinkles and spots. It's very uneven. It doesn't look super great yet. You know, we still have little bits over here, stuff around me. This is me modeling one of my dresses. For those of you who bought the action and don't kind of know what I do already. Okay, I might want to just pull this out a little bit. You can see I'm like painting really quick. I'm not too worried about how splotchy it looks in certain areas and whatnot, because we can always clean that up a little more after. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna do the Sooo Seamless fix. And what did that take? Like 2 minutes of brushing? I'm not cloning, I'm not healing, I'm just grabbing those. And I mean, there you go. That pretty much did it. I do have to bring back the dress. That's the only thing here that sort of went away. So we do need to make sure that anything you lose that you bring back. And all right. right, so that looks pretty darn good. I think the only final thing I would do would be to lighten this area. Okay, so best tool for that, I like to preserve my background, but since I already painted it, I'm not overly worried about it. I'm just gonna flatten. I use the history brush a lot to fix things. So I'm actually gonna go to the dodge tool. And I think that pretty much might have even gone too far. So I do like my dodge and burn. They are really nice for little stuff like this. Especially because you can target like midtones, so it's not touching that white lace. It's only grabbing those dark spots, which I like. Woo! And you gotta be careful that you don't overdo it. Definitely go with a bigger brush if you can. Just a quick dodge and burn. So that is a pretty easy way to do that. So that's where we started, and that's where we ended up. Pretty easy. So we just went through one-click edits, you know, when you have just a really simple texture background, all the way down to a more complicated background removal that I honestly would probably spend a little bit more time on, but you can see how we got effective results very quickly from a very crappy background. All right, so that is it. If you guys have any questions, drop into the group. I don't really read YouTube comments, so don't leave comments here, but definitely come to the group. Again, the link to the group is in the description, and the link to buy this action will also be in the description. So